What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. I hope everybody's had a great hump day. Hope all your humping dreams came true. And tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday, the beginning of week 16 in the NFL. And debating on whether or not I'm going down the country to finish taking care of this rental property or not tomorrow. They're calling for really bad weather. In fact, they're saying stay off the interstate because it's going to start out as sleet, freezing rain, and all that stuff. It's going to be cold, and then it's going to rain like hell. So I don't know if I'm going to go there tomorrow or not. If not, I've got plenty of work to do here at the house. So if you're traveling out there, be safe, because you got two storms that are converging that are going to make a mess of things in the meantime. And then come Friday, it's going to drop like about 40 degrees and have like sub-zero temperature. So there's that we're facing. And then, of course, there's the Christmas Eve storm that's coming in. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Dallas Cowboys. But before we get to all that, let's say shout out to our 7 Pro Bowlers. The only team to have more, I believe, is the Philadelphia Eagles, who have 8. Let me see if I can remember them. We have, of course, Diggs on the back end, who's been phenomenal. We've got Micah Parsons, who hopefully can continue and pick up the pace a little bit and try and get into that Defensive Player of the Year award. Although I don't care about that as much as having him 100% in the playoffs. We got DeMarcus Lawrence in, and he's ecstatic about being in the Pro Bowl again as well. We have Turpentine in his first Pro Bowl, of course, as a kick returner for the Dallas Cowboys. One of those great moves that the Cowboys actually made this offseason in bargain basement shopping. So, you know, if you're going to kill them when they do things wrong, you got to praise them when they do things that are right. You got Zach Martin, who has been all world as always. Zach Martin, who has more Pro Bowls than he does holding penalties in his career, which is saying something. You've got, of course, CeeDee Lamb, who many thought wasn't a number one, and I questioned it myself. And I am not beyond a reproach of saying I was wrong. He has become a great wide receiver. You know, you have to give it to him. And having him have the season that he has without others being able to take the focus off actually tells you how good he is. Because typically you'll see one guy that does really, really great things, but he's got other people that they have to focus on. There's nobody on our team right now that you have to look and say, we got to focus in and double team that guy. All the attention is going to CeeDee Lamb. And that's where we have some work to do. Hopefully, maybe T.Y. Hilton can add another dimension to us, because if we still had Amari Cooper with the way CeeDee Lamb's playing, oh my God, we'd be in great shape. And did I get everybody? I think I got everybody. Oh, no, I didn't. We got Tony Pollard, his first Pro Bowl. Interesting thing, going into this year, a lot of people said, oh man, you know, Tony Pollard, the Cowboys aren't going to go ahead and do another big contract like they did for Zeke. They're going to let him walk. Because the concept is don't let running backs, you know, don't pay them, because you've kind of seen what's happened with a lot of running backs after they got paid. Although Christian McCaffrey, after being hurt the last couple of years, seems to be doing well again. You know, now we've finally seen Barkley as a Pro Bowler this year. And so that may change the Cowboys' thoughts. If the Cowboys let him go, he's going to get paid, and you definitely will get a high compensatory pick. At least a 4, if not a 3. So that's one way to look at it. Another way maybe is you tag him. Franchise tag for a running back next year will probably be about $13 million. The transition tag is, which of course means it's non-exclusive, somebody could take him and offer you compensation, would be about $10.9 million. So that may be another thing, a tool that the Cowboys use as far as Tony Pollard goes, to keep from having to pay him a boatload of money. Although the thing is, a long-term deal, you can kind of stash the money. But I will say this, the salary cap will increase dramatically next year. Sometime in the next few days or so, we'll finally hear about Google getting getting Sunday Ticket. And currently, Sunday Ticket is $1.5 billion being paid by DirecTV. Originally, we'd heard that Apple TV was talking about $3 billion. I'm betting it's going to be more like $4 billion. So hypothetically, if the salary cap just from this one deal, if let's say hypothetically, that deal goes from $1.5 million to $4 million, a $2.5 billion, did I say million? I meant billion, $1 billion increase. If you take that $2.5 billion and you divide by 32, then times by 0.48, that is the amount of money that would go onto the salary cap for the players. If I remember correctly, that one deal is about $37 million in additional revenue on the salary cap. That one deal. And understand that all the new money from the gambling and all the other contracts, they don't kick in until this year. So you're going to see the salary cap bump up quite a bit of money. And the Cowboys have some ways that they can end up getting money. They could go ahead and, do a new contract for Dak Prescott, give him new money for down the road, reduce his cap number. Tyron Smith may not be there, and that's another $16 million right there on his contract that you're talking about, as well as some restructuring things. They can sign whoever they want to. Don't believe that they can't. So that's one of the things that they can do. It's crazy to me. I was watching while I was waiting for Jet, a TikTok. It was about the price of oil and stuff and gasoline and everything else. And, the way the story's been told, to make a long story short, at the end of it, what the guy said is the real reasons why the price of gas is going down and went up and so on aren't that exciting or salacious. And he said, what you have to understand is the news industry, their job is to get you to watch and react, because then they can sell their airtime to advertisers. It's not about being right. It's not about doing the right thing. It's all about getting you to watch and getting you to react so they can make money. And that's not just the news. That's the sports news as well. So when you have a guy like Shady McCoy, as stupid as he sounds, it's doing exactly what Fox Sports wants. You're looking for the clips. You're talking about it. You are spreading it. When Skip and Shannon go after each other, we are watching. And thus, the ratings are going up. Telling the truth doesn't really increase your revenue. I want to read something here. Jason Garrett, Randall Cunningham, Anthony Wright, Quincy Carter, Ryan Leaf, Clint Stoner, Chad Hutchinson, Vinny Testaverde, Drew Henson, Tony Romo, Brad Johnson, Kyle Orton, John Kitna, Brandon Wheaton, Matt Castle, and Kellen Moore. Those are stiffs. Those are guys that have been quarterbacks for the Dallas Cowboys since Troy Aikman, that are not named Dak Prescott and are not named Tony Romo. See, a lot of y'all don't remember. You have short memories because you get fed the bullshit on television. See, what's amazing is in 2014, the Dallas Cowboys had an emerging defense that went from 32nd to 19th, but was number 2 in the NFL taking away the football. They had DeMarco Murray lead the league in rushing with over 1,800 yards. They had statistically the best year of Tony Romo's career. He threw for less yards, but was more productive. His yards per completions were up, his interceptions were down, his touchdowns were up. They went 12-4. And unfortunately, against the Green Bay Packers, we had the catch, no catch. You had Tyron Smith, who was young and uninjured. No knee brace on his elbow, no knee brace on his knee. You had a young Zach Martin. You had a Travis Frederick. You had a Jason Witten that was younger. You had all those pieces. And you know the funny thing is, the next year, Tony Romo gets hurt. Only plays in 4 games. The Cowboys go 4-12. A 12-4 team that ended up having Brandon Wheaton, who was in the system for a year and a half, playing and couldn't win a game. You had Matt Castle, who the only victory we had with him was over the Washington Redskins. And it wasn't because Matt Castle played a great game. It was a field goal kicking. And it was, Deshaun Jackson, who, when the game was pretty much won, caught the punt on about the 8-yard line and went backwards and fumbled it, giving us the opportunity to kick the field goal to win the game. That team, with all of those players, Great Wall of Dallas, we ended up losing DeMarco Murray, but we had Darren McFadden, who rushed for 1,000 yards in 11 games. That team won 4 games. Matt Castle, Kellen Moore, Brandon Wheaton. Now that are some stiffs that had the easiest job in football. They had a running attack and a great offensive line. Yet, those guys couldn't do jack shit. Enter 2016. Tony Romo's back. Figure we got the band together one more time. We're going to do some stuff because our leader is back. We got all the players on the offense. The defense is getting better. Oh, mind you, by the way, the Cowboys that season, without DeMarco Murray, I want to say we're 4th in running the football. Yeah. So we were able to run the football. Enter Dak Prescott coming in. He took that team that was 4-12 and goes 13-3. That, my friends, shows you the difference of an average quarterback or a journeyman versus Dak Prescott. If you want to believe the bullshit hype that they're trying to sell you, because I love how the headlines are, Dak Prescott's pick 6. It's not giving you a whole picture. If you sit here and look at the difference between Shady McCoy versus the Bears and Dak Prescott versus Jacksonville, game's pretty similar. The difference is their defense stopped them. They only gave up 20 points. We gave up 40. And Jalen Hurts is the hero who had 2 incredibly bad passes for interceptions. And Dak is the scapegoat. Guys, don't fall for the bullshit. You're sitting here talking about a quarterback that's gone 6-2. When you can look at the Arizona Cardinals that paid Kyler Murray a boatload of money. What's their record? You can look at the Denver Broncos that paid and traded away draft picks to get Russell Wilson. What's their record? You can look at the Carolina Panthers that went and got Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and then let Baker Mayfield go. What's their record? You can look at the Jets that have drafted quarterback after quarterback, or the Cleveland Browns that have drafted quarterback after quarterback. You can look at the Washington Commanders and the $29 million that they're paying Carson Wentz to sit on the bench. If you honestly believe it's an easy thing to get a quarterback, then you don't know football. All right, good people. I have taken up enough of your time. I am tired. I may be on the road tomorrow in the bad weather. So I am going to carry my behind to bed. We are under 250 people to 50,000 subscribers. Wow. It's unbelievable. You know, every night I come out here and I end this by telling you to tell the people you love them. Because you might not get the chance again. And it seems like on a regular, I find people that inspired me, people that were influential in my life, people that were great people that are just passing away. Maybe it's because I'm older and I just notice it, but Franco Harris, I don't like the Steelers. I never liked the Steelers. But I can tell you, the man that I met and knowing the kind of person and what he did for others, being unselfish, that I loved the man. Franco Harris. The world needs more people like Franco Harris in it. May he rest in peace. And thank you, each and every one of you guys, for being here with me on my journey for however long I have. I appreciate you. God willing, I'll see you tomorrow.